Now departing, the Railway Podcast.
Hello, and yet again, welcome to the Railway Podcast special broadcast with me, Ulf Karlsson.
And with me, Staffan Sporre. We're doing the broadcast from the final event of the FP2 R2DATO and trying to capture as much interesting details as possible from the project. In the previous episodes, we've talked about the project overview, the technical details, and the research of the project.
And now it's time for a different perspective. What are the suppliers' take on this project?
Giving us that perspective are Philippe Prieels and Robert Grosser. And as per custom, we start by greeting them to our humble show.
Welcome to the Railway Podcast, Robert Grosser and Philippe Prieels.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
We have a sort of a tradition here in the podcast to let the guests introduce themselves. So please.
Maybe Philippe, you start?
Okay, thank you, Robert. So I'm Philippe Prieels. I'm working for Alstom for a long time now, 30 years, and I'm the Alstom program manager for this project, R2DATO. So I'm coordinating the global involvement of Alstom in R2DATO.
Yeah, my name is Robert Grosser. I'm working for Siemens for now 28 years. So mainly in the mobility area, so therefore I would say that is my professional home. And here I'm the company representative for Siemens in the R2DATO program.
What are your expectations for this final event as representatives for the supply industry?
For me, it's bringing together the results and making them tangible. So I think that is most important, and to see also the clear outcomes. And of course, that we honestly discuss what may be left and what are topics that we have to address in later stages.
Yeah, I'm fully with Robert. I think it's a lot of work has been done in R2DATO. A lot of results, major results have been achieved in this project, and it's a wonderful showcase, this final event, for all these results. It's also a wonderful recognition, a very nice recognition for all the people, all the technical teams, all the experts that were involved in the various work package and reached these results. And finally, it's also we say the opportunity to celebrate, because it was a long effort, several years of hard work, and voilà, it's good to have time to celebrate also such a long project.
And Robert, when you say what's left after this, would you say it would be more left for you, or for the researchers, or for the infrastructure managers to realize things, or what would you say will be?
I think it's a little bit of all. So I think there are some topics that needs to be covered from a research perspective, but most important from my point of view is also to have the deployment. So we need these topics, what we currently develop, what we had as an innovative new topic, we need that to bring it into the market. And I think that is most important, that we also focusized, even if we have the request for higher TRLs, so we need to bring it to the market. And that is, from my perspective, left at the moment.
And just to check my own English, TRLs is technical readiness levels.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good.
Snyggt. On Swedish.
Yeah.
But are there any blind spots that the R2DATO project has uncovered that you didn't know about before?
I wouldn't say that there are blind spots. I think that all the technological elements that are the key for better railways tomorrow are probably addressed. Not all of them today are the same level of maturity. There are some topics which have higher TRL reach already than others. But I think what is important is to make sure that all this global work clicks together. That means that these various technical topics with the interface that they will have between all of them are composing a consistent set of solutions tomorrow. So that's why it's important to be coordinated in this kind of big projects, to be technically coordinated, to make sure that we are building a system or system of system, as explained by Jean Baptiste this morning during the event. And this is the key, and this is the key also for future. A lot of work has been done, but there is still a lot of work to be done. And growing to this system dimension, maybe not only growing to to the individual TRL dimension, but also to the system dimension.
I fully agree with Philippe, and maybe to add or to name some buzzwords. So, of course, artificial intelligence is something that we didn't address in the first program. So that is, for me, one key changing moment. And of course, also cybersecurity is still coming as a requirement from mainly from the system pillar, and of course the demand from railways. And I think also cloud-based solutions are also something that will be the future, and that we are not focusing at the moment in the current program.
So if you could sort of visualize the future, what do you think? When do you think we can deploy the solutions or products that includes result from the R2DATO project?
So I think we have some elements that are already yet in use. So especially analytics or software. So that could be a short-term usage. And for many deliverables, I think we will need a time period around about 5 to 8 years, I would say, so that we have it in a market. Due to the high demand on security issues that needs to be solved, and therefore I would say it takes some time to can include or implement technologies in the future.
Yes, I think it's a difficult question to answer. As I said, a lot of work has already been done in showing that the concept works. That there is the proof of concept somehow is done for most of the technical enablers. We also know that from prototypes, prototypes, demonstration like the one we see tomorrow, to revenue service, there is still a long way, because of course between a prototype and an industrialized solution which has required all the safety stamping and certification stamping, there is still a long way. And this, I would say, is depending on several things. First of all, on the roadmap, of course, of each supplier, which might be different, of course, one supplier, but also based on what we call the market, in the sense that the key element is probably to identify what are the use cases that make sense short-term, mid-term. R2DATO is building a complex system or a complex system of systems with a lot of functionalities. Maybe time is now to try to prioritize things, to identify what are the functions that make the more sense for use case to appear and allowing to make a revenue service appearing in short term or mid term. And there the railways have a major role to play too, because they are the users of the system. So it's up to them to tell what they need and by when. Yeah. So voilà, we are fully in the sphere of a collaborative work where the various stakeholders, each one having to take his role, his responsibilities, which has been R2DATO, but probably to be further developed. And we should not forget also the link with the sphere outside the innovation pillar, like the system pillar, which is of course defining the system lines of all this work, and typically with also the consistency with the standardization and the TSI input plan, which is the basis, I would say, also to see things appearing on the market as solutions, because clearly this defines when the elements developed in this kind of project will appear in the TSI and in the standards, and we all know that this is a key step, a key element to see industrialized solutions appearing on the market.
And when you talk about these developments, will your focus be on like current customers, or would you use this to sell in your products to new customers, or is it both?
I think
if you can answer that.
Yeah, I think so. Most of the countries have currently railway operators, and we are in contact with them. So I would focus on the existing connections that we have. You know that the markets are very closed, and Therefore, I think you can see that the demand is more or less fulfilled, and now we have the change of technology that influenced most of the railways, and therefore I would say that we are concentrating on the existing markets, and from my perspective, also having a look to that program. It's focused on Europe, and therefore that is our home market. And therefore, for me personally, and of course I'm not a strategic expert from a company, so I would say focusing on the existing companies, on the existing partners, that is the main business at the moment.
But even so, would you say that a project like R2DATO strengthens the competitiveness of the European supply industry in the worldwide market, even if, as you said, Europe is the primary market?
I would answer definitely yes. With this kind of projects, first of all, we are working all together. That means all the stakeholders of the European railway sector are there. So that means that from the expression of the user need to the opinion, the scientific opinion of the research center, and the technological feasibility, and I would say possible industrialization from the suppliers. Sorry, we are all working together. So this is an incredible opportunity to together define what the railway of tomorrow has to be. We should not forget also that this kind of project is co-funded by the European Union. Okay. So it's kind of it's a very positive element. The fact that to be more competitive tomorrow, to develop these solutions, we are benefiting from European funding. So the project is co-funded. So I think yes, definitely this environment is strengthening, is promoting the industry European to play a key role on the market of tomorrow in Europe and outside Europe. Because just to come back to your previous answer, I will complement that the kind of system that we are developing here are standard systems with ensuring interoperability, interchangeability, which are not limiting the solutions, the market to Europe, but the system is also applicable and will be applied definitely outside Europe. If we take the example of ETCS, the European Train Control System, ETCS is mandatory for a certain number of aspects in Europe, but this application is going much beyond Europe, and the market is as big outside Europe than in Europe. So, definitely we are not clustering things about Europe. We are developing solutions, standard, interoperable, interchangeable that can be used worldwide. Okay.
Yeah, I would support what Philippe just said. So it strengthens the technology leadership for the companies, also the aspect of system integration. And I think it's very important that we have this harmonization across Europe, which reduced fragmentation and which enables scales, and that is a basis to be competitive globally. And therefore, absolutely, I would say that strengthens our European position.
It's about time to wrap this up. I'm just curious, is there anything else we should point out from the supplier's point of view before we close?
For me, and sorry for taking the word,
please.
For me the key point is continuity. So therefore I would say programs like R2DATO that give us the chance to provide standards, and like I mentioned at the beginning, the next step needs to be the concentration to the deployment, so that we bring the solution. It's not all about innovation, but you need to have these solutions now in the field, and that is the next step, what from my perspective is very important.
Yes, I'm fully with Robert. I think the next step are also about continuing to grow in maturity from different technical enablers point of view. That means increasing the so-called technical readiness level, technological readiness level, but also growing in maturity about the system dimension, as I said. So to really ensure that all that elements, all the system compose a system as such, and that means also going to demonstrators that are more and more showing this system dimension. In Shift2Rail, when I worked in the past, there was a notion of integrated demonstrators, which were gathering several TDs, integrated technological demonstrators, gathering several TDs. The TDs are now the technical enablers in Europe's rail, and we should go to the kind of stuff. So that means hopefully, in the next program, start to see demonstrators that assemble, for instance, moving block and ATO, this kind of thing, as an example. So voilà. So I think there is still a lot of work to be done, but really, clearly, we are on the right path. And yes, I'm confident that step by step, and also focusing, as I said, on the key functions for early deployment or as early as possible deployment, really defining the use case that are the most important, the most critical on the user side. This will help to see as soon as possible, and I hope very soon, some early deployment of the technologies we are developing here.
Very exciting. You want to wrap this up?
A lot of work to be done.
Yeah, exactly.
Including AI and cybersecurity, but that's another podcast, another time. Thanks a lot, Philippe and Robert, for joining the Railway podcast.
Thank you
With
very
pleasure.
much.
Thank
It was
you.
a
Thanks to
pleasure.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So that will be all for this episode. Please listen to the following episode for more in-depth knowledge from this project. In our next and final episode, we will talk to the IMs and the RUs connected to the project. You don't want to miss out on that. Until next time, thanks for listening.
You have listened to the Railway Podcast.